answers to that, because I could now talk about cloud computing as a trend, or maybe it's not yet a trend, but it's a lot of discussions around it. It's not yet very well implemented, but it's many discussions are about cloud. I could talk about some of these new technologies which are exposed by the different storage vendors, such as virtualization, such as deduplication, such as automatic storage tiering and all that stuff. But I would rather like to talk about what, from my perspective, are the real driving forces in terms of storage for customers. Because that's what really matters. It's not, you can talk about tools, how to, and that all these things which I mentioned before are tools.
Yeah.
Or you can talk about problems and issues and things which you need to solve. At the end of the day, what really matters at the customer side is the question, how can I manage my data and how can I protect my data under the constraints that we have an enormous growth in terms of data per year. So we have an exponential growth, 60% per year, and but we only have limited budgets. We have customers have to deal with compliance regulations more and more, and that directly puts a pressure on storage. And the fourth thing is the whole solution needs, of course, to fit into the existing environment as well as into future environments, such as cloud, server virtualization, and the likes. So at the end of the day, that's what really counts, is how can I protect my data, how can I manage my data under these constraints. And these are the burning questions for customers, and not whether I do thin provisioning.
Yeah,
It's in the discussion phase.
Still it is in the discussion.
B, there are implementations of cloud. And C, let's do a definition what you mean by cloud. Yeah. So since many years, whenever an outsourcer got a new project, he got a diversity of different legacy things. But whatever this outsourcer tried to do is to standardize. So what cloud really is in terms of IT infrastructure, not in terms of services, but in terms of IT infrastructure, what cloud is a very high level of standardization of the IT infrastructure. And that is the real difference. So you can have cloud as a service provider. You can, of course, I don't talk too much on public cloud now. I'm talking enterprise computing here. Okay. And when you talk enterprise computing, of course there are offerings out there for, some people call it trusted cloud and whatever. And but what I think is even more important is the idea of this highly standardized infrastructure, which then can also be implemented by a big company. So we know big car manufacturers, big banks, they implement their own cloud. So from that perspective, cloud is already there. From another perspective, how many companies put their data into the cloud? Okay. I don't think that's money. Fujitsu. Yeah. Fujitsu is a cloud provider. We do have cloud offerings around the globe. We have cloud implementations in Japan, in Australia, in UK, in Germany, and US, etc. And they are all built according to the same building principle. They are built with own software, with orchestration software, etc. in order to have the right ways of offering such portions of infrastructure to the outside with the right service levels, and of course they are built out of our own products. So I read recently a report from IDC saying that about 2% of the overall IT spending is on cloud today.
Okay.
And
Only 2%.
that it's 2%, but it's also a prediction that I think in 5 years from now it will be 20. So it's difficult to predict, but 20 would be a huge number. Would be a huge. I think we have a very differentiated offering in two areas. One area is we according to what I said before, we have offerings for flexible data management and for efficient data protection. For these we have own products. The Fujitsu storage products are called Eternus, and Eternus DX, that's our online storage line, and Eternus CS, these are our data protection appliances. In both areas we have differentiated offerings. May I give you a few points, data points on the Eternus DX range. The Eternus DX is a line of products. Of course, we have entry products for the SME market, we have mid-size products for mid-market, we have tier 1 storage for the big data centers. The difference which Fujitsu has to all our competitors is that we have one software stack which supports the complete line. Okay. All our competitors do have a patchwork of different products due to all the different acquisitions they have done, different architectures, different ways, not being able to for instance, replicate between one or the other system. These are big benefits which come out of this single software stack which we can deliver, like that, for instance, in the mid-range and in even the entry, we have functionality which is only typically used in the high end. But we can offer it to our customers because we just implement it once and then we can apply it to the complete line. That we have a customer like a telco, and many companies do replication of their data. Everything is mirrored, that is a necessity to protect data in the online storage. Okay. So when you buy a high-end system from competitors of us, you have to buy another high-end system in order to be able to replicate. Yeah. When you buy a high-end system from Fujitsu, you may also have a mid-range system in the remote side or in the backup data center, and you can mirror from the high end into the mid-range. That is an enormous cost reduction, and these are the things you need to do in order to manage to tackle the questions which I mentioned before. Security is when we talk security, that is a bigger thing than just the storage. Okay. Security, you need to have a complete security concept for starting with who has access to my data center, how do I monitor, let's say, people who are dialing in, etc., etc. A lot of things which happen outside storage. But each and every storage system which fits in such a security infrastructure must provide certain functions and features. And these are, for instance, encryption. These are, for instance, access control lists, etc., etc. And these are things which we, of course, have in our products. Typically, we don't disclose these kind of numbers. You can read that in some of these IDC reports. It's above $1 billion. We don't disclose separate numbers. But what I can tell you is that with our Eternus portfolio, we are doing a big effort to roll that out on a global base. Eternus used to be very successful and has been very successful in Japan. Okay. But outside Japan, we have started this rollout. Just recently, I think this or last week, Gartner made a report on external storage, and they mentioned that Fujitsu is number one in terms of growth in storage, with a 22% in Q4 of the last
worldwide. It's a worldwide figure in the whole world.
Well, that's about. So the Indian market is for Fujitsu is a key market. We have, that's actually the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
So
but you have been late entered into the Indian market.
Absolutely, very late, and we have we have entered the Indian market 3 years ago. There is, of course, in the past, Siemens was here with some activities. Fujitsu did some activities out of their APEC. Now India is managed out of the European entity. Okay. So and we have done a growth plan for India because we saw the growth, the growth possibilities. Also, we saw the success we had. This year we are growing, I think, 150% in storage in India. And now we have a growth plan. It's committed. It's confirmed by the management. We are investing in people. We are investing in go-to-market, like lead generation and the likes. We are investing in partners. We want to develop a value channel in India for our products and solutions, and we are investing in services in order to be able to fully service the products and solutions which we are selling. My advice to the channel partners is the following. I think Fujitsu has a really great, robust, very interesting portfolio. But we know that it is not enough to have great products in order to be interesting for partners. We are committed to create a long-term partnership with channel partners. We are a fully channel-oriented organization. We do more than 90% of our revenues in India via channel partners. We are interested in companies which want to make a difference, which want to differentiate themselves. And by this commitment of support and engagement, we also, I think, give these companies a chance to generate really good margins with our solutions because they are differentiated. So we understand it's not just the products, it's much more other things which also is as important as the product portfolio per se. Nobody has a doubt that we have a great portfolio. You can read that in all the publications. We are not good in go-to-market yet, and we know this is a great chance which we can offer also to channel partners.